Hello students, and welcome to the tutorial on how to use GeoGebra, and particularly how to use it to draw a scatter plot and to graph some functions. And I have a table here of some information. It says the following information gives gas prices per gallon in the United States over the last 60 years. Draw a scatter plot of the cost of gas as a function of years since 1950. And this is the important part here, years since 1950. So I need to sort of adjust this a little bit, and I am going to say, let's see, table, insert a new column to the right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I'll just do it right here. Years since 1950, so 0, 10. 1970 is really 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, whoops, and 50 years, and 60 years. And then I'm going to plot these points here in GeoGebra. And I'm not going to answer all of these questions in this video because this video is more about how to use GeoGebra than it is about answering these questions. We will, of course, answer them, but just in a different video. So in GeoGebra, if you open up, it should look similar to mine. It might not look exactly like it, but you should have a graphics here. You probably have some axes here. And go into View, click on Spreadsheets, and you can see it's kind of like a mini Microsoft Excel version that shows up. And you're going to type parentheses, X, comma, space, Y, parentheses. And when you do that, it basically tells GeoGebra that you're about to plot points. And now you can just plot the points in a similar way. So I'm going to type in 0 and 0.2 in GeoGebra. So parentheses, 0, comma, space, and make sure you include the space after the comma. 10, 0.64, and as you can see that as soon as I type these points in here, they show up on the chart. 21.07, and this is amazing that gas used to be this cheap. 31.46, 41.89, 50, 2.2, and then 62.65. And so there I have it all in there, and you can look on here and see that some of the points show up and some of the points are sort of off the screen, and I just need to adjust it. So I'm going to go into View, make sure the other toolbar is shown up, so it's right here. And if I click on this little icon here with the axes, it allows me to grab it and move everything over. Now you can also, I need to zoom out a little bit too, so I'm going to scroll, and if you zoom out you can also see it. But all of this isn't quite satisfactory because it's not helping me a whole lot to really get an idea of what the picture looks like. So I'm going to hide this view. So I'm going to go into View, hide the spreadsheet. Now notice that doesn't really delete the spreadsheet. It's still there. I'm just going to hide it. Hide it. Okay. And now I have something that gives me a little bit more space to use here. I'm going to stretch this out just a little bit more. Okay. Close that. Okay. All right. So if you notice, my Y scale here, the vertical axis, is pretty large. It goes all the way up to like 30, and here these numbers only go up to like 2 something. So we can fix that if you go into Options, Advanced, and then you click on this icon right here, Preferences Graphics, and it allows you to enter in values for X-min, X-max, Y-min, Y-max, sort of like on a calculator. So I'm going to do this from like -5 or -1 rather, and I'm going to go up to not 35, but maybe to just like 3 even. And you can see how that changes my my picture here. It gives me a much better view of everything. For the X, I think that's pretty good. Well, I'm going to shorten it just a little bit. Instead of going from -20, I'm going to go from -10. and we'll go up to about 80 years. And then I can hit close, and you can see how this shows up on the graph. It looks like a relatively linear graph. And a few other things that I want to do here. I want to hide these labels here because they kind of get in the way. So I'm going to choose this select icon, right click on it. By the way, when I right click, it's a green button. When I left click, it's a red one. So right click, disable the label. So I just kind of do this with every single one of them. And that clears things up a little bit. Along the horizontal axis here, I want to label this. And if you click on this text tool and then click on your graph, you get to type in whatever you want. So I'm going to type years since 1950. Click OK. And don't worry if it doesn't look big. You can make it bigger. You click on it, and you can choose from this drop down here. We can make it large and then move it. Okay. Now you can notice here this text here is a little bit small, so I'm going to change it by going into options, font size, and making the font size a little bit bigger. So you can see that this text now is a little bit too big, so we'll adjust it. And you just kind of play with it until you get something that you want. I'm going to do the same thing here, insert text, but on the horizontal axis. And this is cost, or this is cost in US dollars. Okay. And that'll give me that graph on the y-axis. And let's see. Oh, I also want to graph a function. I want to graph a line through this. And I don't know what the function is. I'm kind of guessing right now. So if I go, this looks like it's got a slope about 0.05x. And that was just pretty much a guess here. One of the things you can also do is make these points a little bit bigger. And if you hold down the command key on a Mac or the control key on a PC, it'll allow you to select all of them and just make them a little bit bigger so you can see them. Okay. And then this line here, I guess that's pretty good. I'll leave that alone. I can also right click on it if I want to and show the label, but that's not very helpful. So let's turn the label off here. I'm almost done here. A few other things that I could do. I can grab this item here and just kind of shift everything so that it's a little bit more centered. And then after that, I want to copy this into Microsoft Word. So I'm going to use this select tool. And I'm going to basically draw a box around the parts that I want to keep. And then go into Edit, Graphics View to Clipboard. And now I can go into Microsoft Word and go to the bottom of this, Edit, Paste. And it's going to put that picture into there. Okay. And now you can kind of do whatever you want with it. You can move it around, or you can continue typing. You can type figure 1 graph of or cost of gasoline per gallon in US dollars since 1950. And there you have it. You should be able to do this with any function, not with just a linear function. But this is an incredibly powerful tool, GeoGebra, because if this function changes, well, you just need to double click in there, and let's say you need to add something to this, and let's say you want to add like 0.2 to this, you certainly can do that, and the function will change for you. You can also You can also, if you have a color printer, you can also change the color of this and make it look a little bit more clear. You can also adjust this slider here so that it is, everything's a little bit thicker. Okay. And if you want to, you can also click on these points, go into Object Property, Show Label, but instead of showing the name, you maybe just want the value. And so when you do that, you can see it'll plot the coordinates of the individual points. It depends on your teacher's requirements. If he or she requires it, you may have to do this. If not, you can just leave it as it is. So I'm just going to leave this without that for the time being. Okay, and there you have it. If you have any questions, as always, ask your teacher, and I'm sure he or she should be very happy to help you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for